Welcome to Personal Development Mastery Podcast, episode 257. This is the second Snippets of Wisdom episode, and in these episodes I will be selecting my favorite, most insightful moments from previous episodes of the podcast. The snippet of wisdom I chose for today comes from one of the early episodes, number 37, with 𝘁𝗶𝘆𝘀, who is a master-level mindset coach. The interview took place just a few months after I had started the podcast, and it felt like an epic conversation. We talked for 2 hours and we recorded 1 hour and a half of it. It certainly is one of my favorite episodes. Actually, it was split in 2 episodes because it was too long. And there were many impactful insights from that conversation. The snippet I chose to play for you today is one of the best descriptions I've heard about mindset, specifically about how our beliefs shape our reality. Rob used the analogy of a lens to describe it. I believe that the wisdom shared in this message will be very valuable to help you comprehend in a practical way an abstract concept such as limiting beliefs. I hope you find this snippet of wisdom as insightful as I have. Without further ado, here it is.
There's 2 functions of a lens, and most of us are only aware of one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I literally, just to start from the very beginning, I'm talking about lenses like your glasses, right? Like you were holding on to. Contact lenses. If people don't wear glasses, they've certainly looked through a microscope or a telescope, right? The function of a lens that we're all aware of is it alters what we see, right? It changes what we see. And the right lens can alter it in a way that's really helpful, right? My glasses are definitely a big help to me. But if I were to just put randomly any glasses on, or I were to put many glasses on, right? All of a sudden I can't see very well, right? Now, that's interesting, right? So lenses alter what we see. That's a really important concept to get. The second concept that most people don't think about is that lenses are built to be invisible, right? They're not built to be considered. They're actually built to be looked through and kind of forgotten, right? So while I'm wearing my glasses, I don't really consider my glasses ever. I just bebop through the world dealing with this altered thing. Yeah. So much so that if I wore rose-colored glasses, quite literally, in the beginning I might notice that it's different, but eventually that would become normalized to me. Like I wouldn't consider that the world was any other way. And in fact, if I really didn't know I was wearing rose-colored glasses, I wouldn't know any other colors other than, the rose tint that I'm looking through. Well, the analogy is that our beliefs and our thinking is very much like that, right? Our thoughts and our beliefs alter our perception in a deeply meaningful way, but they too are built to be invisible, right? We take them on to be the truth of the situation. So if I take on a belief about politics, right, and I don't know, I can't see that it's my belief, I'm actually looking through the lens of it, I only see the truth of that perspective, right? And so if that's a limit, like I'm not enough, or I don't like money, or whatever those things are, I'm now being altered by that, but I'm not considering it as only a certain lens that I could be wearing. It seems like truth, just like this seems like my real vision once I forget about my glasses, right? So the fundamental shift is to actually be able to take off the lenses, the beliefs that you're holding that are holding you back, and actually look at them and shine them up or throw them away, put on better ones, like get to the right lenses that are the most useful, that most helpful to you, that are not delusional, that don't get you to a place that's like, saying, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire, when you're not, is delusional. That's not helpful. But saying, I love growing my money and I love, showing up so that I can make money might be really useful, right? So what's the right lens, the important lens to put on? So it's not just about any old affirmation. It's about taking on and really taking in to your sense of self and your beliefs, the right lenses that are good, and ultimately growing the meta skill of being able to see lenses. So back to glasses for a second, I would consider these lenses as soon as there was raindrops on them, right? That would make me aware of my lenses, and I'd have to take them off and clean them to put them back on. Or if I had scratches in my lenses, I would know that I would have to go get new glasses, right? But with our beliefs, because they're so hard to see, we often don't we don't notice the scratches, and we end up with really messed up glasses that we're looking through on the world. And through that, we self-sabotage. We hold ourselves back. We live very limited, sheltered, often very safe lives. But the world isn't as dangerous in the same ways that it used to be. So we've taken on all these safety protection mechanisms that are really holding us back to what's deeply possible for us.
Mm-hmm. I liked very much you mentioned the contact lenses, and it's probably a different level altogether, because with the lenses of the glasses, yes, normally you're not aware of it, but at some point you might see the rim or something like
you
that.
Might notice it a little bit, or it might bump into something, right? You lay down on a pillow and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I've got glasses on, right? You forget, and then
the contact lenses, you really goes completely without you realizing it.
Correct. Yeah.
So I suppose then, if we want to change our lenses, our limiting beliefs in that sense, the first thing to do is to identify that we actually are wearing lenses that they do not serve us, and then from there.
Awareness itself can be curative, right? So sometimes if you can see the lens, that alone breaks the spell of it. Right. So that is helpful, right? So just getting, and oftentimes because they're invisible to us, this is why you sometimes need a coach or a therapist or somebody like that to help you identify, what am I not seeing here? Like, what am I not getting? And sometimes just a laser coach can come in and go, hey man, like boop, 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 or hey lady, here's what's happening for you. And you go, and then it never has that same effect. Now, many of them are so deep, especially the ones down at the identity level, that just seeing them, we actually need to go do some work. We need to actually change them in a little bit deeper way. And that's where some of these tools, like we've mentioned, shadow work, timeline therapy, doing things like story casting, things like that are very powerful to shift profound limiting beliefs. But without doing that, you're left limited in ways that you're blind to, right? That are holding you back, which is maybe a little scary for some, but it also, I hope, is really exciting, right? Because there's a more idealized version of you that's possible, right? There's a version of you that can be more universally confident, more universally ready to take action, more focused, more happy, has emotional mastery, that, these persistent anxieties and worries and things that make us sad can really be transcended in a profound way, so that your base level way of being is just way more idealized.
Thank you for listening. You can find the full conversation in episodes 37 and 38. The link is in the show notes. If you got value from today's episode and you would be so kind, take a moment and leave me an Apple Podcasts or Spotify review, sharing how personal development mastery has made a difference to you today, and I will read it in the podcast. And until next time, stand out, don't fit in,